Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. Um, there hasn't been much of an update pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. As most of you know, the report was put out by the Sheriff's Department pertaining to pictures floating on social media pertaining to a Tacoma truck. That is not a photograph that they uploaded to the news or to the public. And so that is the latest information. And they are also asking people to refrain from indulging in rumor and rhetoric pertaining to the child, leads, this and that. But if you do have pertinent information to her whereabouts, to please contact the local authorities and TBI with that said information. Hello, Joe. How are you? Thank you all for joining me. It is Saturday, and welcome. Hello, hi. How's everybody doing? Thank you so very much. Hello, hi. How you doing, darling? Thank you. Thank you all for joining me. I decided to go ahead and get on a little bit early before I get out for the evening. So I am here. My discussion for this early afternoon or late afternoon is pertaining to DHS. I'd like to know why it took them 6 weeks to remove the children out of the Wells care, because I do think that is something that should have been done day one. Hello, Factual Fanny from Australia. Thank you so much for joining. I do find fault with them. And as it goes with certain jurisdictions, some jurisdictions, the police, sheriff have no, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have the authority to remove children out of the care of a parent caretaker, as we've seen with Cal City. The sheriff in Cal City, the chief of police, Walker, told you in that case with the missing boys that they didn't have jurisdiction as far as removing the children out of the West home. It was up to the Department of Human Services. So they were the ones who make the call there in California. I do not know the rules and regulations as far as if the police can render in taking out children depending on the situation, how dire it is, but I do believe that on that said day, they went to the home. Really, I guess my title should be Hawkins County as well, because you're the first ones to go there to the house, Hawkins County. So really, I need to change my title and put both of you up there. Put both of you on blast, because you're the first ones to go to the scene, because these people reported their child missing. Hello, Emily, how you doing? And so I want to know, why didn't you all call Department of Human Services to say, we went to this house, a child is allegedly missing. We have seen the contents on the said property. We've also seen the contents inside the said home. It is not a livable situation. It does not look and appear to be clean enough for children. It's just a hot mess. And I think that's what you should have told Department of Human Services. Maybe you did. Maybe Department of Human Services said, that's okay. See, I don't really know who said what to whom. So I probably shouldn't point fingers. But nonetheless, at some point, DHS got wind that the child was missing. So let's just say this. Thereafter, at some point, after Summer Wells was reported missing, after an Amber Alert was put into effect, you want me to believe that you all came in on week 6. Week 6, you came in on the story pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells and whatever the hell was going on with those boys. You came in on week 6 pertaining to the missing child and her brothers. Week 6. The hell is going on? This is absolutely atrocious. Just atrocious. Because Hawkins County, I'm hoping that you said something to DHS day one when you went to the compound and saw how they were living, and then they held out. Excuse me. They held out. And see, that's the gist of the story. You're never going to know who said what to whom. You're never going to know who said what, who's the first one to make a call to this agency, that agency, because nobody's going to tell you. Because surely nobody wants to stand account for what the hell we just saw up on that mountain. And I was looking at pictures of a house today on social media. In my right mind, I can't fathom anybody living there, let alone children. And I felt sick today. I felt utterly sick, like near tears, thinking these kids were living in this house with these two people, with all these animals around. No other children in sight, no other neighborhoods where the children could roam, go down the sidewalk and play, leave, have a good time, be a child, then come back to that. Who would want to come back to that? But like I've always said, you get used to certain things because you don't have no other choice. So it's just like if you were raised in Iraq, Russia, Africa, if all you see is sand and broken buildings, trash, garbage, people running around the streets with grenades and rifles and AK-47s or heavy artillery, blowing up stuff, shooting up stuff, and that's all you know. Same thing with that holler. If all you know is broken up concrete and rocks going to a drive, broke down school buses, broke down trucks, trash, 50,000 animals running around, mating and procreating, breeding, no real steps to the house. Your house is junky, nasty, not being clean, stuff everywhere, broke down furniture, no clean sheets, no comforters, no nice pillows to lay your head on at night. We ain't even gonna touch what the bathroom could have looked like. Hell, is there even a tub for the children to take a bath? We know small children usually take baths. Summer was at the age of taking a bath. Was there even a shower? Adequate water, clean water. See? That's what I'm talking about, because we don't know. And that's the point. I'm sitting here looking at the outside, it's mangy. I saw pictures of the inside. Now I gotta wonder about the bathroom, the restroom, for all those people. Have mercy. Were they even being fed properly? Did they eat vegetables? You gotta have vegetables. Oh, she made sure to give them milk. So we know they drink milk. Yes, that's for the cereal. Shut up, Queen. But were they fed properly? Did they go to their doctor's appointments and get their wellness checks, checkups, yearly checkups, monthly, however it went? When was the last time the children went to the doctor? Yeah, Queen keeps it real. When was the last time they went to the dentist? When was the last time, thank you, Kennedy. When was the last time the children went to the dentist? When was the last time they went to the doctor? When was the last time the children had a whole physical? Did any of the children have any developmental disabilities? Were any of the children diagnosed with any developmental disabilities? Did they ever go follow through with a healthcare provider for their mental disabilities, if indeed any of the children had them? Why is this child looking unkempt in a lot of her photos that are released to the public? But yet, Mr. Wells wants to talk about this great love affair he had with Summer Wells. Yes, we're going to use past tense now. Even had the nerve to say she showed him a love he never had before, or loved him more than anybody else. I may be paraphrasing. What the hell are you saying, sir? Doesn't even sound right coming out of your mouth to say she loved you more than anybody. So basically you're saying your sons don't love you, your wife don't love you, and your older children don't love you, and your family and friends don't love you. Only Summer Wells loved Donald Wells. Stay woke. You see, everything's in the wording. That's why they tell you sometimes it's best to be quiet. But he refuses to be quiet, and we see that. He's enjoying himself at the expense of a missing child that's 9 times out of 10 deceased. DHS, where were you? That's the subject for this video. If you want to hit the link to bring me your commentary pertaining to where was DHS day one. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you want to donate to the cause and the dream of this channel, $sign Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Thank you. You're welcome, Green. Hello, Olivia. Hello, Miss Missy. I got 77 viewing. Thank you so very kindly for spending your Saturday afternoon with the Queen. Amen. All right, Helen. Play nice. I don't even want to know what that means. Ooh, mercy. If you've never commented on this channel before and you like your voice heard, I have a link at the top of the page. Feel free to hit the link because I don't see any of my mods on deck. So please hit the link. I don't know, Irene. I have no idea, sweetheart. That's why I keep telling you, everything is rumor and rhetoric. We don't have any, thank you, Teresa. We don't have any verification of DHS being involved in the Wells life, because naturally they're not going to speak on anything pertaining to these people because that type of information is personal and sensitive. Well, Olivia, he's made everything about Donald Wells. You see, nothing in this story is about Summer. Everything's about Donald Wells and his feelings and how he's feeling and what the world is doing to him, how he's being treated. If I didn't know any better, I would think he's the victim. It's amazing how people like that like to take the light off of the person that's missing, especially for those, thank you, Joe, especially for those who love to talk about victim shaming. It's amazing how the living person is allegedly victim shamed, but no respect and regard for the one that's missing and or deceased. I love it. A couple thousand people in this chat, they don't know what they're missing. Kevin B, it's okay, but why did he post that spray brush picture with that word on it? Was that cute? What are you trying to say, bro? I don't know. Yes, as most of you know, I put on my community board a shared video by another creator on the YT, and in the background you will see Summer standing in what is believed to be a tunnel, and behind her there's graffiti on the wall on either side of the wall. One side of the wall has F Crips and the other side has something NIGGERS, and I thought that was very inappropriate to even post that picture to social media with your child standing there with that belligerent, nasty word written on the wall. But that's to be expected from this type of human being. But this is the same person that you all love talking about and bragging about and want to give him the benefit of the doubt, he and his wife, as being culprits in the disappearance of the child. You see, Donald Wells don't care about anything. That's obvious. He only cares about himself because he only talks about himself. And then you post a picture with your daughter standing in front of a tunnel that's got a derogatory word in reference to African American people. So therefore, it is what it is. And we know that back in these parts, it is mainly Caucasian people in this region. You only get a higher demographic of Black people in Chattanooga, Nashville, and Memphis, Tennessee, and outside of Memphis, Tennessee, crossing over into northern Mississippi, Arkansas. The demographic is Black. But up in these parts, it is predominantly Caucasian people residing in this area. So possibly they're letting us know they don't like Black folks up in that region, wherever the hell that picture was taken. I'm assuming it's somewhere up in East Tennessee, up there near where they live in Rogersville. And as I told you back in the day, no Black person ever lived in Rogersville. No Black people living there. And when you watch the prayer vigils, you can see, you don't even see a lot of Black people at the prayer vigil. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I think I saw maybe what? One lady, two, one looked like she was biracial. You didn't see a handful of Black people at the park supporting him. Why not? God loves all his children. I haven't seen that, Kevin. I haven't seen that, sweetheart. Thank you for joining me. If you want to voice your opinion pertaining to where was DHS 7 weeks ago, please hit the link. Hello, Emily. Welcome, Mississippi. Crooked letter I. Amen. 89 viewing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, Texas. Thank you so much. Good old Texas. Hey, yes, yes. Flew into Dallas from New Orleans. Boy, that was the best. That must say Texas treated a queen royally. Best layover in the world was in Dallas, Texas. Amen. Smooth sailing. No malfunctions, no nothing. I would definitely fly out of Dallas any day. I'll have to drop the link because I don't have any mods on board to aid me today. I don't know where they are. All my exes live in Texas. Okay, Missy, you're a mess. Flouncy, there's a few other pictures of her. She's got a peach shirt on where her hair's pulled up in a ponytail. That's a nice picture of her. Yes. Well, this is Confederate land. This is the South. Most Southerners believe in the Confederate flag. They uphold it. They uphold what went on back in the South. That's just the way it is. The picture posted the summer when she was very young with no clothes on with her dad, another man, and younger brothers near. Wonder who took the picture. That one obsessed me the most. Okay, Pink, I haven't seen that one. Hey, hey, Evie. Hello, the flag is not racist. It's the people. I wasn't brought up that way. My mom always said, skin color don't matter. We all humans. You want to hit the link? Why doesn't anyone talk about that photo of her? Well, Pink, you got to remember, this is stuff that they're either people are digging up from Facebook and or the parents are releasing the photos as see fit. Hello, Jessica. So therefore, you can only go by what is uploaded to social media. Everybody's not going to know about the pictures. I don't know about it because I don't stay on YouTube. I watch YouTube, but I skim through things and I watch a little this, a little that. I just don't have the patience to sit and go 2 hours verbatim watching videos. This is why the lives and stuff don't need to be long. Videos don't need to be long because it takes up a lot of time going through each person's channel trying to watch 2-3 hours of content when you've got so many people talking about the same thing over and over again, reposting the same picture, same video. You would have to have, this is like a full-time job, just watching YouTube. You really don't have time to do anything else if you're trying to keep up with what Peter put up, what Shamika put up. It's all the same. It's time consuming. Watching Facebook posts and it's a lot of work. Well, nothing shocks me with these people. That's what I've been trying to tell you all pertaining to the whales. I'm not going to be shocked by probably anything that I hear from here on out, because after seeing the compound, which is disheartening and it's sickening and it's sad and it's pathetic and it's trifling at best, nothing could shock me after seeing how they live. I wouldn't want to take a dog up there. And it allegedly, not even allegedly, because we've seen there's dogs living up there. And then when you sit back and hear Chris Madonna talk about him paying a $600 car note, this and that, and you're saying to yourself, well, how are you feeding the animals? How are you feeding yourselves and the kids? Why are you living in this squalor but giving almost $1,000 for a damn car note? Your priorities are jacked up. You don't have your priorities straight. But I want to talk about DHS. That's the subject of the video. Hit the link if you want to tell me why it took them so long to remove the children. They had to have wind that the house was not in proper shape. Come on now. Yeah, we know about the N-word. That's what I put on my community board. If you want to see that said video, somebody posted of that picture of the child standing in front of the tunnel with the graffiti on it with the N-word, go to my community board. You can see the said video. Okay, $1 pieces, factual. Oh God. The property of the house is disgusting. I was done when she crawled under the kitchen aisle. Evie, hey, you and all of America. How's anyone allowing that to be posted? Well, it is. You posted on social media, but you're right. It shouldn't have been on. It shouldn't have been on Facebook. So Facebook needs to check themselves because they love monitoring everything that you post and what you say and how you word stuff. So Facebook need to be in Facebook jail. How about that? Miss Missy, nobody cares about your country accent, sweetheart. I live in the South, so what you're saying doesn't make any sense now. I've been living in the South most of my life, and I have a Southern drawl, and I don't care what someone says about that. What can I do about it? Nothing. So how you talk is how you talk. So long as you're respectful on the panel, you're welcome to hit the link. A Susan Smith. What do you mean a Susan Smith? Please don't do that. Wolf rats until that report. Well, somebody had used wolf rats recently. In one of my commentary, I don't know if it was pertaining to Cal City, but it was one of my stories I did. I heard wolf rats mentioned a couple months ago. Hello, Summer. How are you? Okay, Carol. If you want to give me your opinion pertaining to DHS's late venture into this storyline, hit the link, please. That's why I dropped it. Hello, Miss Irene.
Hi, Angie.
Where are you coming from, sweetheart?
I'm calling from Ohio.
Ohio. Okay. How? Tell me why you think DHS 7 weeks late, 6 weeks late in the game?
Well, I sort of maybe have a question and a comment both. Earlier on in
Well,
the interview,
but I want you to answer my question first because that's the title of my video, please.
well, I think that DCF, Job and Family, or Children's Services, already has been there because earlier on in Candace's videos, when they interviewed her and Don at the house, she had said something to the effect that the boys were moved upstairs, that they told her to move them. And I'm thinking, who's they? And then and I'm thinking, okay, so maybe Children's Services had already been there.
I must have missed that.
And then,
I must have missed that
yeah, it was very early on.
Wait. Is this where she's sitting on the wall outside the house and the young lady's interviewing her and her husband?
Yeah, I think it was. I believe that is the one. But they were at the house, and it was an early interview. But she made some sort of reference to that. And then, if you remember in the interview she did with Chris, the last one, when she was in the home, she said, since all this, she said that Summer and the one child stayed downstairs. But since this has happened, she moved the boys back downstairs. So I believe, with everything in me, DCF has already been there. And they let it go because, I think in certain areas of the country, they assume people live a different way when they're in the backwoods, and they give them a little bit more leeway.
But that's no excuse. You can't use that as an excuse because of the region, because that means you're saying all Southerners, we all live like that, and we don't.
Well, there had to be some reason they didn't remove the kids, and if it wasn't DCF,
I can't accept that.
If DCF, if whoever told them, whoever they was in Candace's mind, that had her separate the children, first of all, I'd like to know who that was, if that was DCF. And if it was, then why didn't they remove them until after? And I'm like you, when the police came in there and saw the conditions, those boys should have been gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I need to know, did Hawkins County Sheriff say something to DHS or no, or DHS didn't jump in until whatever the hell happened week 6 or week 5?
Well, and that's why I'm wondering, why was there hesitancy? Was there already an open case on them that they were, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that took them a little longer to get their ducks in a row. I don't know. But if I was a public servant and I went there and a child was missing and I saw what I saw on the TV,
yes,
everybody would have been gone. And I'm not sure they should have been even allowed to go back to bed.
So that's what I'm saying. The police, the state, the Hawkins County Sheriff Department, if they are the ones that were on call that night, then I find fault with them as well, because you had to have called these people. You were supposed to call them. Let me say that. You were supposed to have called them to say, hey, this don't look good up here with what we're seeing on the property and inside the house.
I totally agree. Yes.
Anything else? You said you wanted to add something else?
No, that was it right then. I just think that, well, that's what I was going back to at the beginning when we talked, was that I wanted to know who they were that told her to separate those children, because I think that is the key. I think they have had contact. I would like to know if they have had contact. I believe they had contact, and maybe them knowing the family, maybe that's why they didn't move so quickly, because maybe they wanted to take them and make sure they didn't have to bring them back. I'm not sure, but all I know, I think it's very neglectful that they weren't taken out that night. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm from the South originally. I'm from Kentucky. You know, I know how it is up in those hollers. Trust me. But
it depends, Flouncy. I can't say Flouncy. I can't say when they'll let you know if they're coming, not coming. It just depends on DHS and the case. You know, it just depends on the case and the severity of the case. But I do believe if you've already been in the system with complaints for a certain issue, like the lady that let the 2 babies drown in the swimming pool here in Knoxville, they came on their own after several complaints, and they watched her to verify she had been running the daycare without license and had too many people. So then they waited, and then they came on in with the police, and basically she knew she was done. Was no more hiding, not opening the door, because they had the sheriff with them, or police department.
Right.
Somebody said
you
that
know,
a few times, and
I do have one more comment.
Go ahead.
I am from Kentucky, like deep down in the hollers. Okay, that's where they pump the sunshine into you. Okay, and trust me, there was nobody that was going to come up that holler and they not know about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I had told Night Out on my live, because I finished watching one of my lives today. Well, part of it, and the thing. Like I told her, I will no longer try to explain to anybody what it's like to live here. You either get it or you don't.
Yeah, so that's true. You can either understand it or you don't. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you can't trust the judgment from the creator who lives in the area, and you can't understand what I'm saying to you about what it's like to live here, then you'll never get it. So I won't be explaining it anymore in my lives.
No, there's no need to, because those who know,
because you believe what you want to believe. If you actually think somebody walked up there out of the blue, knock yourself out.
That's right, because that's not going to happen. There are too many eyes all the way up down them hollers. Trust me, everybody knows. I'd say everybody on that road knows who went up and down that day. If they were home, they knew who went up and down that road that day. Period. And you're right, you can't explain it unless you've lived it or been there and seen it and see how it works. No, you're not going to understand it, and they won't.
No,
you're right.
You know, it's just like anything. You drive by the roads all the time, and you just don't go venturing up the road. You have no reason to venture up there unless you're just really a nosy parker, or you're going to do no good. It's either one or the other.
That's right. But, you know, I know all about those isolated places. I remember when I first took my husband down to where my mother was born, and it was a cabin down in Kentucky. And my aunt and uncle lived there then. We pulled down in that holler, and there was literally no room to turn around. And he just looked at me, and there was a creek at the bottom. And he said, what do I do? You don't know where you're at. And I said, you got to drive through the creek. And so he drove through the creek, and he said, if I get up here and tear everything out from my car, I'm going to kill you. But when he got up there and he saw the house, he was like, wow, like, I didn't know people lived like this. But, you know, the hardwoods, I mean, everything was gas, refrigerator, gas lights, everything. I mean, they had it. It was nice.
Yes.
So he couldn't believe that it even existed. And he's like, boy, when it's dark up here, it's dark. I'm like, yeah, when it's dark.
Yes. Anything else you want to add?
What makes them feel so unsafe? Now she had to move the boys back downstairs. Because originally she said she felt safer with the kids downstairs. And
well, somebody in the chat was basically alluding to the fact that the boys went back downstairs. So why did they go back? Or I don't know. See, this is what
she said when she moved them down, because Well, she said, Candace out of herself, when they asked her that, or when she was talking about that, she said that she didn't feel safe with them up there, that she felt better with them downstairs, and that's why she moved them back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
thinking, who told you to move them out in the first place? Somebody. That's what interests me. Was DCFS there earlier?
Yeah.
But unlike you, I'm disgusted they didn't remove the kids that night. Period.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's all I have to comment.
Thank
You
you
know,
so
have a
much.
good
Thank
day.
you. Thank you. God
And
bless
I'm
you.
going
Have
to
a
join back in
wonderful
the chat.
weekend. Thank you, baby.
You too. You
Okay,
too,
honey.
dear. Bye. Now,
That's Miss
wait a minute. How
Irene.
do I hang this up on there? I've never
Just
done
hang
this.
up.
How do
It's
I hang
fine.
this up?
Just hang up.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome, baby. That's Miss Irene. If you want to give your opinion pertaining to why DHS took so long to remove the boys out of the house, hit the link. Thank you.
Hey, Queen.
Evie, how are you?
I'm good. I haven't been on here in a while.
I know. And thank you so much for the donation, ma'am.
Of course. You the queen. Gotta make sure the queen's good.
Yes,
But
Queen. She's trying, honey. She's been a little stressed lately, but I had to turn it over to the Lord and let him handle it.
that's right. Shoot. That's all you can do sometimes, right?
Yes. So tell me, why did the
Okay.
children stay in the house that long? Why didn't DHS take them out immediately, the boys?
Well, I was listening to your conversation just now, and I was kind of thinking of the boys, Oren and Orson, how the adopted parents, their kids were taken. Their kids weren't taken right away, remember? But eventually they were taken away. So
Yeah, I believe they were. Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe those boys were taken right away.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
I
they were. I
don't
think
know,
I think
maybe.
they got them out. I think they got them out not no more than a day or two later, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, the only thing I could think of is that there's been a lot of allegations of abuse coming out from with Don abusing the family. I don't know per se because the house is horrendous, right? But I don't really
Okay,
know
that's my point. That's where I'm going with that. It's that
right.
when you got there as the sheriff,
Right.
why did you not call the damn DHS? Or did you and they make the call to say no?
Right.
At
But
that
then
time.
remember, I think Don or I don't know. I try to keep up because it's so messy. They were saying that they didn't feel safe for the boys, that they were getting threats, and it's just so
But that
messy.
still was weeks. But that still was weeks. That still was weeks later.
Exactly.
Still
I
weeks
have
later.
no idea. The only thing I could think of, like I was saying, I don't know the area. I don't know if a lot of homes look like that or if that's just normal to them. And
No, that's their choice to be like that. You know good and well they know how to live. They know how to move into a structure with working doors, working windows, actual steps that lead up to the front door, not a scalpel.
Right.
Whatever you call it.
And them bunk beds right there at that front door, I was done with that.
Yeah, that was disrespectful to the children because there was no privacy for a boy to change into his clothes or out of his clothes.
No privacy. So I have no idea unless, what is it, DFCS? That's what it's called. Unless they were just dragging their feet, maybe the cops did make the call like, hey, come get these kids. These are unlivable conditions. Somebody dropped the ball somewhere.
Well, it can't be but one or the other. It's either the sheriff or DHS or they in conjunction.
Right.
Because you got to remember, the police were there first. It's no different than if I called somebody right now and said, hey, I see some kids outside playing, or they say they locked out their house, they can't get in. And then the police come and investigate and see the kids are unkempt. And then they go knock on the door, go talk to the people. When whoever opens that door and he see how they're living in there and he let that child go back in that house, that's on the damn police or the sheriff.
Right.
Because that's their job to report to. That's their job to report to DHS anything they see out of character, out of line, felonious, whatever.
Don't they usually say why the kids are taken out of a home?
Sometimes, I guess it depends on the agency.
Yeah.
What they want to reveal.
I mean, the only other thing I can think of is that, they come to conclusions that the parents are involved and for the safety of these kids, let's take them out. But again, it goes back to why wait so long.
Right. Well, somebody's making a comment, why weren't they removed beforehand? But that goes back to what I said. We do not know if DHS was ever called. or if they follow through. Because you have to remember something. Just because somebody calls on you doesn't mean they come out right away to see about the allegations. You can make a call on Friday. It might be 2 Fridays from now before they actually show up at your door to investigate and or send you a letter.
Right.
Depends on the agency.
And why nobody else? I mean, before this whole thing, when someone went missing, how come nobody else called and said, hey, these kids are living in squalor? I'm sure there's dog poop everywhere, roaches, rats, and everything else, you know.
Well, it's atrocious because, you know, it's one thing to have all the stuff on the property, like the broke down vehicles and the generators and all that type of stuff, the broken refrigerator standing near the front door. But there was actual trash on the ground. Besides the heavy stuff, there's actual papers thrown around. So it's like they didn't care. And you're teaching your children not to care and value things. That's what they don't understand. You're teaching your children to not care about themselves, not value their property and other people's property. Because if they do that there, they might go to somebody else's house and think it's okay to throw a Snicker bar paper in the floor, throw your soda pop bottle on the floor. You understand what I'm saying? Don't flush the toilet. That's what you're teaching your children.
Exactly. To pile stuff up, and it looks almost like a condemned hoarder house.
Well, it's on the same level as what we've seen on TV. It's just really no different. Only thing is they had a pathway into the bunk beds, and a pathway into the kitchen. But we've seen the junkie houses, the filth, the debris, the roaches, dead carcasses of animals. We've seen all that.
It's probably got mold in there too.
Terry says big signs of addiction. Is that possible? It's a very good comment.
That's a good point, Terry.
Yes.
And it also looked like them kids was just free to do whatever they wanted. You know, that like they weren't really supervised to me. You know, just kind of run amok and just run the yard, and I don't know. But I agree with that big signs of addiction.
Somebody in the chat said she told Chris that it might be kitty poop when he went to see the house. See, a lot of the stuff y'all be saying, I don't even be remembering that stuff. That just shows you that I guess I really don't be really paying attention to things. Because this is just who I am as a person. Once I detect, this is who I am, deception and craziness, trifling, it don't matter what you're saying. It goes in one ear and out the other.
Right.
You understand what I mean? It's like tunnel vision.
Right.
It's like I'm there, but I'm not there.
Right.
So I don't really even be soaking up all the stuff that they're saying in these conversations, in the interviews, Facebook posts. That's just who I am. Once I see one little sentence that's off, it doesn't even matter what they're saying after that. You know, Candace right now could run past me naked, on fire. It would mean nothing at this point. It wouldn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't mean anything to me.
You know that first interview with her and Don, she looked high as hell. Either that, I don't know. She was on something.
Yeah, she was on something or sedated something. Exactly.
And they don't have any emotion behind this. They're like slow.
Yeah, but don't you find it strange? The past 2 prayer vigils, she's now welling up and crying. She cried with Chris Madonna at the corner. Then she did the first prayer vigil. She wailed up. Now she's crying at the second vigil. Don't you see where this is going?
Guilt.
Why are you just not showing emotion about your child?
Right. That's more guilt or putting on a show because people standing around you.
Yeah. I'm crying for myself because I put myself in the situation to get rid of my child. These people out here really concerned about my child that knowingly I got rid of. So yeah, could be just attention. Somebody said they both ride the short bus. Lord have mercy.
Linda said the kids are old enough to pick up and clean up outside, but if the parents ain't doing it, they're not going to teach them.
See, that's the thing I keep trying to tell people. They're teaching it.
Right. Kids do what they're taught. You know, or what they see, what they see. And if you see mama throwing just stuff all over the place, not making any effort to clean
Yeah.
it up, even put some
Sorry.
lights in the house. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, were there any lights in the house? It was so dark in there.
Yeah.
I think the
See,
reason we saw stuff was from the
why
camera.
would a child pick up? Why would a child go around the property picking up? Why would the child pick up anything in the house? He or she has gotten accustomed to that. Now, every
Right.
blue moon, you might see a child that says to their parent, "Hey, I don't like this. Hey, put that up. Hey, we need to wipe this off. Hey, we need to mop up." That's probably 1% of a hoarder house who has children or live in filth. You probably have 1% of a child that tells their parents, "Hey, I don't like living like this. Hey, you need to clean up. Hey, we need to clean up." You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Why would a child tell their parent they need to clean up? Do you really think somebody's going to listen to a child telling their parent they need to clean up their own damn house? Possibly
Right.
not.
Now I have a teenager. She don't leave garbage around her room, but her clothes and stuff, and I will be on her back until she cleans up that room and puts her clothes and stuff away, like her laundry and stuff. But all that, what they got going on over there, oh, I'm not having that. I mean, I've seen people, I've been to people's houses that just leave stuff all over the place. It's disgusting,
Yeah.
and I don't feel
I've seen a lot of
comfortable
people
at
like
all.
that.
And
Hey,
I'll be
let me
like,
tell
you
you.
know, you need to clean up. I don't
I
have
knew
no
a teen.
problem.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said I don't have a problem if you're my friend and your house is looking like that. I mean, I've never been in nobody's house in that condition, that bad, but I've seen people who, like this lady, her makeup and her hair stuff all in the sink. I'm like, how do you wash your hands when you use the bathroom? You got all this stuff in here. Why don't you clean it up?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's just how she was. But you know what? Her kids grew up and they're the same way now as adults.
Well, they will be. They will be. You only have a small percentage of children who will grow up to be adults to actually keep their house clean after living in squalor.
Right. There's
A
a
very
difference
small
between
percentage.
right. There's a difference between messy and squalor and filth.
Yeah.
There's a
Yes.
big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Some people got junky
we all,
houses. They just don't
yeah,
pick up after themselves. Then you
right.
got
Like
people that got filth in there with it.
right. Like sometimes we come home late, or I just don't feel like it. I'll just put my clothes on the chair, you know, and I say
Yeah.
I'll get to it tomorrow. That's one thing. But when you got cups and dirty dishes and trash and baby diapers and dog poop and cat poop and filth and mold and fungus and yeah, I couldn't live like that. I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Right.
Disgusting.
Right. Okay.
So,
Right.
you know, somebody said, hey, these kids are living in this filth. We got to get them out of here. But I think
Yeah.
it's a combination of things. The filth, number one. Number two, I don't think they're 100% sure that the parents had something to do with someone's disappearance. So for their safety, they removed them from the house. Maybe they just know more than we know at this point.
Say that again. You don't think the sheriff think they're involved?
No. I said whether the parents, that if the parents are involved, right? The sheriff thinks like the parents are involved could be another reason why those boys were taken out because they're suspects. I mean, I haven't heard anything saying that they're persons of interest. I haven't heard
They
any of
can't
that.
say that. Listen, they can't say that. They can't say that. Earnhardt already told you that. The lady with the TBI, she already told you that. Can't tell you that. Think about it right now. They would have come out and tell us they are suspects. Now just imagine what would happen once they say that.
But you know what? I keep saying they're slow and they're this and that. You know, if I can't see them being that bright to pull off something like this and just be quiet about it. At some point, you're gonna break down.
I don't know. You got a lot of wicked people out here who can hold water now.
Yeah.
You got to remember one thing about crime. It happens every day, every minute, on the hour. Somebody is doing what we are talking about. And in your right mind, you're asking yourself, why would they? Why would they? When so many people have gotten arrested for being the culprit of murdering their child, hurting their child, neglecting their child, hurting their family member, wife, spouse, but yet they do it any damn way.
Right. Now
Look at how many people have been arrested for hurting their relative, their wife, but yet somebody else will go out and do the same damn thing.
Right. So this is another avenue that I was looking at too, because what's that lady's name? Rose. She's saying Don was beats on Candace and the kids and stuff, right? What if Don did something. Candace knows what he did, but she's afraid to say anything because of him. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, can we look at it on that point of view?
Say it again. She
That-
knows something?
No, let's say Don did something to Summer, and Candace knows, but she's afraid because she's a bad woman.
Mhm. Well, guess what? Don't you think telling him will be a way to get rid of him and get on with your life, with your children?
Yeah, but you know, even knowing that will still be too afraid to. I'm not saying this.
Let me tell you something. If you already acting outwardly, getting high, drunk, as Boy H has alleged, your appearance has now changed to where you're walking around looking like a guy, which tells me a whole lot. Maybe some of you don't see it, but she's reaching. This is your perfect opportunity to throw Don under the bus if indeed he is the culprit behind the child getting missing. This is your way out.
Right.
Most people would break their neck to get the hell out of that situation.
Yeah. You know that, and I know that, Queen. And I know a lot of the women on your stream know that. Right? But there are some women who are just that afraid, even knowing that this is my way out. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm just looking at it from another viewpoint.
I hear what you're saying. I mean, look, like I said, everything's up for interpretation. But I can say for myself, if I know I didn't kill my kid, and I know my husband did it, boyfriend, whatever, if I have been afraid of this person, this is my way out.
Yes.
Why am I going to prolong? I'm going to prolong getting beat up and hurt. And then you got to remember something. Let's just think about this. Think about this logically. If I'm sleeping in the same house with you, knowing you killed my damn kid, and now the other kid's gone, you think I'm going to try sleeping in the house with you alone and I'm carrying the secret?
Right.
Hell no. I'm turning you over and I'm leaving out that compound with a Kroger bag or the clothes on my back. I'm not your man.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm going to the police department on my way to the highway. Quit playing. I've been in Wisconsin with my mama.
Shoot, I'd hightailed it out of there. Especially you did something to our daughter, to my daughter.
That's the point I'm making. If I knew my husband did something to my child, boyfriend, whatever, the day I go, I already got the escape plan in motion. I ain't returning back to the house. Why would I do that?
Right.
You'd be a fool to go back. Especially if they don't put handcuffs on them after you done gave the report.
I'll be out of there.
Man. Why they got married 3 months? I don't know. I know where you're going with that. Are you trying to say so somebody can't testify against the other one with the planned murder of Summer Wells? Is that what you're saying?
I don't see what that would make it. I don't see what
I have to care. You have to care everyday shenanigans. Some women, men don't. Does alcohol control them? Why do I have to care? I don't understand what you're saying. You must be misconstruing what I'm saying. I'm not going to stay in the house with you and you killed my damn kid. So if you think I'm supposed to say, agree with you, you're wrong, because I don't agree with you. I'm not staying in no house with nobody that murdered my damn kid. Because it's one thing if I stay in the house with you and I fear you with my kids. So I'm still at fault for letting you beat me up, hurt me with my kids. Say, well, now you've killed my kid and my other kids are gone and I'm going to still stay in the house with you?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No. That's my chance to get out.
I think what she's saying is that drugs make you, do things
but what I'm saying is,
not.
I hear all of that. I hear all of that. But you're still talking about being alone in the house with allegedly a murderer. Alone. There are no kids to shield you. There's nobody but you in the holler up in that plantation with a murderer, let's just say, if he did kill the kid. And Candy don't got nothing to do with it. You gonna keep staying in the house alone with somebody just murdered your kid?
Yeah, I don't know.
and they're abusive, and this is your way out. You got a way to get out now.
I'll be
No,
out of there.
no, I don't
I'll
get
be
that.
running through them trees like I'll be out of there.
Mm-mm.
But
Ain't
it's
no
so
way.
similar. Isn't it similar? It's so similar to this case. Just reminds me so much of Orrin and Orson.
Yes,
Because
yes.
the only difference is that these are the biological parents, and Orrin and Orson was adopted, right? But it's the same thing. Just vanish into thin air. The two adults are supposed to be keeping after the kids. Nobody knows nothing. You know, everybody's tight-lipped. It's the same exact scenario, except for one's biological and one's adopted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're all the same. I keep trying to tell everybody, all these stories are the same.
Yes.
These stories about people who checked out because they've been checked out, past tense. They were not emotionally available. That's why the children are abused. That's why the children are missing. That's why the children are found dead. It's because somebody checked out.
Yes. They just don't care. If you don't care about yourself, you ain't gonna care about nobody, kids or
Well,
not.
that's why I keep trying to tell people. This is the reason why people have problems with other people. It's because hurt people hurt people. This is the reason why you have all this foolishness with people. You got people that do ugly things to you, say ugly things to you, mistreat you, put their hands on you because they don't like themselves. So I don't like myself. Why the hell am I like you? I'm gonna like you better than I like myself.
Yeah.
Because self is first.
And some people just do what, how they grew up. So I shared with you when I was growing up, I was physically abused, right? Like abused. So as I got older, when I was little, I always used to say, if I ever have kids, I'm never gonna do this to my kids. I'm never gonna hit my kids like this. And I didn't. I stopped that. So
but everybody's different. But everybody grows. It's your mindset. It's just like what we just said about keeping the house clean. One child will pick up stuff, another child will slough along with it. Okay, now we're grown. One child gets beat up and he don't beat his children. Well, then the next guy, he has kids, he beats his children. It's genetics. It's in your genes, even if you don't really want to be the beater, abuser, sexual abuser. But you might be actually fighting those demons inside.
It's a daily, you have to, even if
you gotta want to make
yourself, you have to work it, because you can't just be like, oh, I ain't going to do that and don't take steps. You got to constantly, just even with drugs or any kind of anything, it's a day by day, sometimes minute by minute thought process. Eventually it becomes a habit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we all have choices. Just because you grew up one way doesn't mean that you have to be that way with your children or your wife, or because you saw your daddy beating your mama, that doesn't mean that that's okay. But people like to say, oh, that's what I'm used to. That's what I'm accustomed to. Well,
and that's why people have the attitudes they have. Listen, you have people say it every day, especially men. That's how my mama did. That's what my daddy did. That's how my daddy treated my mama. He ran the house with an iron fist. This is what I know. Okay, so now he's an adult and he's mimicking how he was raised in his house with an iron fist. Everybody walking in a straight line. Speak only when spoken to. Because that's all he knows. Not saying it's right. Not saying it's right.
Right.
But if he don't think outside the box, he doesn't try to think for himself. He doesn't try to say, well, maybe I should think differently, do things differently. And he goes out into the world and he meets a mate and she foolishly goes along with him, dating, then marriage. So now his life is a replica of what he went through as a child.
Right. Because people get comfortable in that. But you forget that when you was the one dealing with that, what you felt. So all of a sudden people forget, and Terry, thank you. Because she said, thank you for breaking the cycle. People just get comfortable with that. Well, that's the way I grew up and my mama stayed,
right.
Even though my dad used to beat her to a pulp, or we didn't really have no choice. And look, I'm still okay. No, you're not. Because you didn't make any conscious effort to break that cycle, to do something different.
Okay. Well, Crystal has a question. How many of you all believe the children saw something? Let me go back up to her comment. Let me see. They seen something or know something? That's one of my mod's questions.
I think the boy saw something.
Okay. Well, Sherry, she left because she felt like it. Only a fool will leave their child knowing their grandchild is missing. This is why I'm telling you, everything is in the gene pool. What I'm sitting here talking about now, about growing up and doing exactly what my parents did. Okay, well, Candace is unemotional. Well, her mama unemotional. What woman
Right.
would leave her child knowing the grandchild missing?
Amen. Yes.
3
You
yes.
hit the nail on the head.
1, 2, 3. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the boys are talking. They're at their parents' house now. They're not around their parents. They know they're not going back with their parents. They can say whatever they want to say now.
Right. Where did the grandmother go? Nobody knows.
They said she went to Wisconsin. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what was said.
Well, maybe she got Summer with her. Maybe she had Summer in whatever vehicle she left in.
No, the grandmother left after the child went missing, sweetheart.
Right. That's what I'm saying. What if they
You
hit
mean
her?
you mean she took a dead body? What you saying? You ain't saying alive.
Yes.
You mean to tell me this woman would leave risking taking a dead person in her car?
Did anybody see her leave?
I don't know. Look, Evie, everything is gossip.
Right.
That's why I keep trying to tell people. You can sit up here and keep repeating this stuff 1,000 times. You don't fucking know where that grandmama is. That grandmama could be right over there in Bristol, Virginia, somewhere sitting at a coffee house drinking coffee. You don't know where she is.
Right.
Because everything you're getting is out their mouth. You're not getting it from somebody else who could say, here, I got a picture. This is where she was at the post office at 2:15 in Wisconsin. See where I'm going? You don't have no verification.
Yeah. But what if she got Summer? What if she has Summer?
I don't know. Why would I want to take a dead body with me knowing they're going to be looking at me suspicious for leaving anyway?
Right.
And you know a dog can trace decomposition in the car.
Mm-hmm. Have the police questioned the grandmother, or they just don't know where she's at? That's the
Lord,
thing.
Evie. You asking stuff you know we would never get the answers to.
Right. So with these open questions, once again, anything is possible.
Well, I personally wouldn't. First of all, in order for her to carry the body, that means the body had to be moved somewhere. You
Right.
wouldn't pick the body back up. You should know they would have been watching you, since that is the car that was used with Candy that day. Come on now.
I don't know, because as long as it took them to get the boys out of there, somebody's dropping the ball.
Well, I don't know. I have no idea, honey.
Right. So all we could do is speculate, right? And just whatever we could think of, because once again, nobody's saying nothing. Oh, she was right there. And I thought her mother lived. I thought her mother lived far away.
Scroll up to
I
the
didn't
top,
know her
baby. The link should be at the top, or somewhere in the middle. The link should be up there, because I just put the link up there a little ways up, sweetheart. Just scroll your phone back up to the link. Oh Lord, Crystal talking about they got an underground cell somewhere.
More than underground than that dungeon they call a bedroom.
Ann says, I don't believe that the child made it back, and the boys didn't keep an eye on her because she wasn't there. She didn't go in the basement. See, that's the whole point. You don't know if the child ever made it home. So that's why I said in my other video I made, the children are the key to the story, because they are the last ones to allegedly seen her go down into the basement. See, we're never going to know what's said until they decide to give us the said information. But they're the key. They are the missing link to the story of Summer Wells.
Oh yeah. Frances said she believes Candy did something to Rose too, Candace's sister. That family just.
Well, allegedly, I thought somebody said she wasn't even living up there in Wisconsin. So I don't know. All I know is her car was found at a truck stop about 30 minutes or 30 miles away from where she was allegedly supposed to be meeting a cousin at a bar. That's all I know. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I got to drop this link again. Go ahead. You can keep talking.
Yeah, that's just straight dysfunction from the mama on down. See, I don't know past the grandmother. So that, I mean, it's just generation after generation of just, I would think one of them would break by now.
Well, if you're a psychopath, you're not gonna break. If you're used to lying and maneuvering, you're gonna be very good at doing this, honey. Because people do it every day. It's like you're trying to tell everybody. You have people who live like this every day. They just haven't been caught. That's all.
Right.
But and they know about.
Francis says the boys will tell if they saw Summer or not.
Yeah. Why won't they tell?
Right.
They're not in their parents' care. They're not in their parents' care. Linda says, if he kills Summer, don't you think her life is in jeopardy? You better think again, because so she knows something. She better come forward and let something. That's it. That's why I said, I don't care about nobody being on no drugs, no this. At some point, you have to do what's best for you. If you're stupid enough to still let somebody beat on you, then that means they probably is beating your children, doing other felonious things with your children. You now have no children. And let's just say he is the killer. You're going to still stay in the same house with that person when you have the opportunity now to get the F out? Come on now. I don't care about nobody supplying somebody with no drugs. You go down the street and get you some damn drugs. There's crackheads, meth heads around the corner. You can find a new daddy, sugar daddy, meth daddy. I said that. Come on now.
I don't know, because Don got her looking like a man.
Who?
Don got her looking like a man.
Don got her looking like a man.
Yeah.
No, she got herself looking like a man.
And they had someone looking like
her mother. Her mother is gay, so that means the mother was gay before they met Don. Stay woke now. You cutting your hair off like a boy is a choice. I don't think it has nothing to do with the girl messed her hair up. Because now you want to believe a child shaved her head, messed her head up with some clippers. You went in and left some hair on top. Then you went in and shaved all of it off. Why?
Right.
You could have took it to the beauty shop and let the people at the beauty shop do her.
Right. Fix it. Well, they don't do things.
I think she's transitioning, or has transitioned into who she was meant to be all along, which is a boyish woman, masculine woman. Yes, Emily, because she may be gay too. That's where I'm going. She's being who she's been wanting to be. Look at, if you watch her in the video at the quarry, that's a guy standing there. The way she talks, the way she stands, chewing tobacco. Come on now.
Right.
That right there ain't got nothing to do with Don. That ain't got nothing to do with her husband. That's a choice. She's possibly bisexual, and she's showing you she likes the way she looks. She didn't have to cut her hair down like that. That was her choice to cut her hair down like that. That's a choice for her wearing these boy-looking clothes every time she goes to the prayer vigil. You haven't seen her wear one decent pair of slacks, leggings, a cute girly top. Everything is masculine, a t-shirt and boy shorts.
Everything. Yep.
Everything, a flip-flop and bare feet.
Hats and big t-shirts.
No lip gloss, mascara, nothing. You know, even if you're not a makeup wearer, you still can put on some lip gloss.
Right.
So people know you're a female. Baseball cap.
But I wear lip gloss. I wear a little lipstick every now and then.
You cut your hair short. That don't mean you're going to wear a baseball cap every day.
Right.
Somebody says, I believe, what? I'm sure Don and Candace already told the boys it's their fault. Boys not talking out of guilt. They probably think they will go to jail because they didn't watch Summer, who never made it home. Okay.
Yeah, but those therapists and people who work with kids know how to get kids to talk.
Francis, if he's a child molester, her cutting the baby's hair is not going to make him view her as a boy, because allegedly he molested his own son. So he's a double molester, meaning his preference is boys and girls. If that is true, those allegations. So her cutting girl's hair is not going to stop him from touching his child.
That's
if I'm a
sick.
freak, I'm a freak. It's not going to matter about your hair.
Right. Petunia said lots of women that have been abused often, I guess she's saying, hide their femininity.
I don't know.
Well, that's what Petunia said.
Thank you all so much for joining me. If you have a comment pertaining to why it took DHS so long to remove the boys from the Wells home, please hit the link. And if you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you so very much. Maybe Dawn didn't want her to wear makeup. You're so right. Candace carries herself like a guy when she was in that parade, holding the sign, and Rob was on the other side. You could see how she walked. Jack's like a man, looks like a man. Yes, she does. It was very evident in the video with Chris Madonna at the quarry. No doubt. Hands down. She's very masculine.
Very.
Evelyn says both sides are infected. Amen. Thank you, Crystal, for dropping the link. Hit the link. 1 hour in. What happened? What happened with the sheriff's department? We'll have to put them in the title too. The ball was dropped. Somebody dropped the ball of getting those boys out that house. Why did you leave those boys in that house 6 weeks after the fact? After the Amber Alert went in, which was the next day after she was reported missing, why did the police, sheriff, DHS allow those boys to stay in that house? That is my topic.
Well, that's
Donna's
neglectful.
scrolling
That's
his
neglectful
head.
that's neglectful on the police department, sheriff's department's part as well.
Well, it's obvious now. Very obvious. Very obvious now. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion. I'd like to hear some opinions from people who have never been on the live panel. Thank you. Well, Eve, is anything else you'd like to add, dear?
No, I'm done. But it was good talking with you, Queen.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for joining us and giving us your opinion pertaining to this case. No
problem. And if there's breaking news anytime soon and I'm around, I'll hop on with you.
Yeah, because there's always something going on.
Right. All right, Queen. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
You have a good weekend, honey. Okay. Thanks again. Okay.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion. Crystal, would you like to hit the link? Is it possible the boys saw something? Yeah, well, we mentioned it already. The boys, whether they saw something or not, they can still verify if the child entered the house. And that's the spoken word. Because allegedly they were there. And that's another thing. Were they there? Because now it was commentary that the children went to work with the father. So what is the truth? See, that's the thing about this story. Everybody is spreading stories that they're hearing from Don and the wife, Candy Kane. But you don't know what's the truth. You don't know if Don went to work. You don't know if Don took his children to work. You don't know if the children actually stayed behind to clean the house because CPS was allegedly coming. You don't know anything. You don't know anything about them playing video games when she got home. You don't know nothing. And that's another thing. If we're to believe the children was at home, then that means they were at home by themselves. Stay woke. You all ain't really focused on that. When you say, oh, they were there, they was in the kitchen. Okay, well, who was watching them? While she was out running around with a 15-year-old, a 5-year-old, and her mama, who the hell was watching the boys at the house? See, this is why I keep trying to tell you, you don't know what to believe. So I'm going to say it one more time. Did Don take the boys to work with him that day? Because that's another thing that you all are not focusing on. If we're going to say that they're not talking to authorities about what they saw that day, does it also mean they've been told that they was at home alone and unattended by their parents? So that's something that needs to be focused on as well. Were the children even there on June 15th? And if they were there, that means they were left alone. Ting! Well, a pedophile outside, why wouldn't he be there to try to molest the boys? If they were there alone, let's say. But we don't have verification if the children were there or not. So that's what we need verification on. With all these interviews, I don't even believe Chris asked were the children there alone or not. But I think it did come up. Somebody said they went to work with him. I can't remember who said it or if Don said it. So that needs to be brought up again. Were the children at the house unattended while Candy Kane was running around with H, Summer, and her mother? Then that means if that's true, and Don was already at work that morning, then that means the boys were left behind if he didn't take them with him. The boys were by the shed. I don't know. See, I don't know anything about the shed. I don't know what that symbolism is supposed to mean. I heard Chris bringing that up in his commentary. My thing is, if you got something you want to say about it, then just say it. If you think there's something suspicious about the boys being at the shed, something in the shed, then say it. Why keep talking about it? Just say what you mean. Okay, Francis thinks they were left alone. Right. Oh, okay. She already told Chris Madonna they were there alone. Okay, she said nothing about them going to work with Don in the interview. Don did not say to Chris that the boys were with him at work. Well, somebody literally passed that rumor out that the children were with him at work. So that's why I mentioned it, because somebody had said that. She was put in her car. I found it out to say her car. I also found it out that he knew everything about that day if he was at work. Well, that's the whole reason why the whole story's odd, because why is he the mouthpiece for the story when you allegedly were not there? Hit the link if you want to give your comments. You do not have to continuously chat in the chat. Get on the panel. Give your opinion. You do not have to show your face. Just hit the link. Foot says Candace said they weren't home. Okay, I'd have to go back and hear that again, because that's something that needs to be also addressed. If the children were alone, then that means they would know if the child came in the house with the mother. Yes, we've heard about the locked in, locked out, but I thought that mean like in general, can't nobody get in this house or get out of this house if anybody was in here. Right, Irene said Hunter said the boys went to work. Yeah, that's why I said somebody said that. So Hunter said the children went to work with the father. And that means he had to have gotten that from somebody, either from his mother or from Candace. You got to remember, these two have been talking, texting each other. 9 times out of 10, that rumor came from Candace Blythe to boy H. So this is what I'm saying. What is the truth about where the boys were? Jesus, do I need to make a video about that? Where were the boys? My subject tonight is about DHS. What happened with DHS? Why did you leave the children alone for 6 weeks in these people's care? Hit the link. I don't know. I don't know what's the truth. She locked them in the house. I don't know. I have no idea. Well, that's what I'm saying, Butterfly. Everything is he said, she said. So as I say, if H said this, that means he either lied or somebody told him that the children went to work with Don. The deleted text. Well, there's probably a reason to delete it. What are you saying? They deleted the text, but law enforcement retrieved them, which you know that they can. Oh, I see this is just going to be me reading comments back and forth. I have 143 viewing. You are welcome to voice your opinion on the panel. The mod has dropped the link for you to hit the link. Well, I'm hour 15 minutes in. I'm not going to do any long lives because I like people to have a chance to hear the content pertaining to any subject matter. So I'm going to go out like this. This story will be repeated the same way, 50,000 different ways. You're entitled to believe what you want pertaining to the story. No, that's okay, Irene. Let it go. You're entitled to believe what you want about these people. You're entitled to believe that the children were there. You're entitled to believe they went to work. In the end, you're only getting a version from two people, which is the parents. You got side games, which was H and his mother. In the end, this lady had some type of relationship with boy H. You're entitled to believe whatever you think that was. At some point, they've talked, conversed. They talked that morning, allegedly. So anything that you're hearing that H said obviously came from Candace and or his mother and or he made it up. So you're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe about these dead people. Because in the end, everything that you heard is hearsay, it's gossip. You don't have no verification for any rumor pertaining to where the children were, did they go to work with the father, were they left alone, were they allegedly locked in, because that could mean anything. Locked in could mean just what it was. I locked the door and they know not to come out. It's a general term. Because if you're not being specific, you can interpret 1,000 different ways. Where all they went that day, did she bring the child back? Was the child actually alive in the car? Did she dump her before bringing her home? What would the boys have to say pertaining to seeing the child if indeed they were at home? So you see, that's the flip of the coin. Because the boys can't even tell you if she came home with her, if indeed they weren't at home and they were with their daddy at work. So if we don't hear Mr. Don Wells say, yeah, I took my boys to work with me, then you have a problem. That means now, openly, you've admitted to leaving your children unattended on the same day that your child went missing. So yes, law enforcement and DHS should have had a problem with that. So therefore, if we're to believe the children were left alone, then that proves my point of my title of my video. Why the F did you all let those kids stay in their care after the child was reported missing? Because now you know the children were left alone, if indeed that's true. So why would you, law enforcement, not go to DHS and say, these kids were left alone, now we have a missing girl, we need you all to come out here because the house is filthy, the property is filthy, and these children need to be removed. And then DHS come out and make an assessment and give the go-ahead or say, no, they can stay. So each agency dropped the ball, in my opinion. If I find out later that the sheriff's department did say something to the fact that the children should have been removed and they didn't, I'll be glad to come back and say, well, made a mistake. But other than that, everything that's being repeated is hearsay. Where the grandmother went is hearsay. Where she is hearsay. Her reasons for leaving, hearsay. What happened on June 15th from the mouth of Candace Bly, hearsay. What H has told you in the interview with Chris, hearsay. What his mother interjected, hearsay. Whatever the mother told on Facebook, hearsay. Everything Don Wells post on Facebook, hearsay. Everything he gave to the news, hearsay. Everything that the mother gave to the news, hearsay. Everything he told Chris in both interviews, hearsay. The whole story is hearsay. And once again, I'm going to end it like this. On June 15th, Candace Bly called 911 and told the dispatch she took a walk. And when she returned, her child was gone. So therefore, you left all children unattended in the house, the same house that's locked up. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you for joining me. God bless all of you. Have a safe weekend. And when I get more commentary, I will bring you this dead information. Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole that goes down to the bottom of a basement in a nasty house up in the holler of Rogersville. That's about it. This is Everyday Shenanigans.